Hi everybody, as promised, here we go with my next video on guessing skills. Well, I would rather call it guesswork rather than just guessing because guessing is, just a hunch. You just have something telling you and you going for something based on a gut feeling. But guesswork is not like that. It is an intelligent form of predicting something based on some evidence based on a logic that you have come up with. And what we would be doing in this tip is to see how intelligent you can get when it comes to guessing in the IELTS exam. Support this point, the first example I want to take, or rather a very curious case study, is that even monkeys can take the IELTS exam if it were only going to be, multiple choice questions. Out of 5, you had to choose. So assuming they behaved well and they were given the choice to answer, let's say, 20 monkeys in a room, okay? So they would be getting 20 to 25% of these multiple choice questions right. And you put in that same room 20 human beings, 20 students, and they have a much lower chance of getting things right by just guessing. Wonder why? This is because IELTS test has been conceived so that some of the answers in the choices look correct. And monkeys obviously have no idea of what looks good and what looks correct. And they just go by the luck factor and randomly guess and get lucky with 20-25% success. Whereas with human beings, since we can fall for those traps of what can look good, under quotes, which is why we tend to, get a lower score when it comes to guessing. So, how do you do intelligent guessing? What do I mean by that? If you had to do any competitive exam, the general rule of thumb is for multiple choice question, how well you can eliminate. The rule of elimination says that if you had to, let's say, choose between 3 multiple choice answers, if you don't do any elimination, then you have only a 33% chance of getting it right. If you manage to eliminate one answer which is wrong, that means you're left with 2, so you have a 50% chance. And if you can manage to eliminate the 2 wrong answers, then you get a 100% chance. Of course, if any of that elimination happens with the right answer, then your score directly becomes 0. But yeah, that's how important elimination is, and your chance of getting things right is if you know how to eliminate. So for the elimination, you have to have what I call the $5 challenge. Now, $5 is not a very big amount, but it's not an insignificant one either. And if you were to place your bet on a choice that has to be eliminated, are you willing to put that $5 at risk? And if you get those 20 of those, let's say, wrong, it's like adding up to almost $100. So that's how crucial it is to be cocksure of your guess or your logic, in other words, as to what should be eliminated, what's the wrong answer. And if you're certain that it is the wrong answer, then you should be willing to put that $5 at risk. That's how sure you should be about eliminating something. But in reality, it doesn't always happen like that. You can't always be sure of a $5 bet on the questions you think are to be, the answers which you think are to be removed and the answers which you think are to be kept. So, how else can you do it? Now, that's where this tip is going to be handy. If you're not sure and you have to only make a guesswork, you have to understand that you have 3 multiple choice answers and you have eliminated the first one, which $5 bet is a wrong answer. So out of the 2, how do you guess? Usually the first answer after the one which has been eliminated, after the wrong answer, is usually the right answer. That's tip number 1. The second tip is the scientific sounding answers are better than the slang ones. For example, if you have in your choices, let's say, the outcomes of this survey are very diverse. And then you have in another option, the results say that nobody is good. Obviously, the second one looks silly and not so well concluded or not so logical. So you can, if you had to choose between these two, obviously the more scientific or the well-rounded one would be the correct answer. So that's how you choose between the answers after elimination if you had to make an intelligent guesswork. So the next tip is go for an answer choice that is more radical, more rational, for rather than something very controversial or just throwing out words like nobody cares. For example, if the choice had like say something like okay, surgery is completely nonsense, versus an answer where it says medications can be used as and when appropriate, rather than surgical intervention all the time. So if it's talking about the merits of surgery, which is discussed in the passage, let's say, so the first choice, surgery is nonsense and all, I mean, nobody would make a very politically incorrect statement like that. So if you have that kind of language in the choices, then you can be pretty assured that it would not be the correct answer, So yeah, go for a more calm, rational kind of a statement than very sensational answer. The next tip I would give you is to look for within the answer choices family of answers that can be grouped together. For example, if I say Rama is better than Ravana, Ravana is better than Rama, Rama and Ravana are equals, and Rama is the son of Dasharatha. Now, in these 4 choices, obviously you're not going to get questions like this, but for familiarity, I'm giving you an example which will be easy to follow. The first 3 questions are all about comparing Rama and Ravana. So that can be taken up as the same family of questions. Whereas the 4th option, Rama is the son of Dasharatha, it's also talking about Rama, but it's not in league with the rest of the questions, at least in purview. So you might as well eliminate choice 4. And between choice 3, 3 choices that we saw, you see there are 2 choices which are direct opposites. Rama is better than Ravana, Ravana is better than Rama. They are like direct opposites. And usually when you have this kind of direct opposites in the choices, one of them will be right. This is another way. You could as well discount option C, where it's saying both are equal, because you don't have the direct opposites. So I want to end this tip series with this disclaimer that what I have given you is no substitute to the research you need to do. Go to the passages, research, read the passage for more general understanding of what's there, specific understanding of any particular point which you're supposed to answer in those multiple choice questions, because that's the objective behind these tests. If you're able to look for the general understanding or any specific understanding of the topic under question. That apart, what I have given you as tips is more for those questions where you're not able to validate your guesswork based on the information that is available. It's only when you have tried and you haven't been able to come to a very conclusive decision that you can try and use one of the tips that I have given you for the elimination rule. And yes, one more thing I want you to be careful of is in these questions, always be careful of those hedge words. I call them hedge words because they don't give you any exception. They give the answer without any room for exception. Words, adverbs particularly, like often, sometimes, always. So, these kind of statements which come with these hedge words are usually the traps. So just be careful of that. And I hope you find this tips videos useful in answering your multiple choice questions, which usually come in the reading part of the test. Good luck.